Okay, my name is Brant Hunt. My channel is Discerning What is True. My videos are all actually on my channel, a YouTube channel, and also on Facebook. And what I want to talk to you about is why do we invite the government to be in our affairs? So I give an example. Why do a man and a woman choose to go down to the justice of peace or goes to a church to get to get married? Why do they do that? What's the purpose in this? You see, most people are unaware simply is that um, in common law, you make a contract between you and another person, and you make an agreement. But see, they always tell you simply is, two's fine, but three's a crowd. Well, yes, it is. Three is a crowd. And what you've done is simply is that in a common law marriage, you don't make a agreement with the state. You don't make an agreement with the church. You make an agreement to the person you're getting ready to get married to or to live together. That's who you make that agreement with. So that is a contract between you and your lover. When you choose to um, allow someone else in there that is an entity, you're asking a foreign entity to come into your marriage, in your wedding bed. Do you understand that? You are asking, or actually, you're volunteering to allow a third party into your relationship. And most people don't even think about it. They just well, we've always done it this way. Same thing with, for example, well, we've always bought diamond rings for the girl we married. Oh, really? That phenomenon hasn't been going on for about maybe 100 years. You see, that was not what it was in the past. You didn't buy a woman you choose to marry. You didn't buy a diamond ring in the 1800s. This is all just started by the De Beers, the people who own the diamond mines, and most of those are actually in Africa, South Africa, and parts of Zimbabwe and Botswana. They are all have diamond mines there, and there are plenty of diamonds out there, folks. Plenty of them. So they always use the issue of a scarcity, that is to say, oh, we have so few, so they can actually charge you a mint for them. But what I'm trying to say simply is that if I want to operate a business, why do I have to, quote unquote, have a city business license? Well, part of it simply is that they're a corporation. The city is a corporation, and they tell you plainly that they're incorporated. And many people just say that's just the way business has always been. No, it hasn't, folks. No, it hasn't been like this over 100 years ago. You didn't have to have a city business license to operate in the city. For example, uh, this is in the state of Illinois. There was during the war, after the Civil War, I don't remember if it was a black man or a black woman, but what happened was simply is that there was a couple who were basically mixed race. There was a white and black person, either male or female, and they wanted to get married in the state of Illinois. Now, again, why do you go to the government for anything? Because you believe in their authority. If you just understood that you're the authority, all this would your eyes would open, because you don't need anyone to give you authority over you. You are the authority in your life. You choose to do what you do. You choose to go to school. You choose to go to whatever particular college you want to. You choose to go and pursue a particular degree in what you want to major in college. You see, you didn't ask for the authority to do that. You didn't ask someone who was actually you didn't know. You actually chose that because you have free will. You can do these things and make up your mind. But when it comes to the government or the church, we seem to have been taught these things that we have to go to them to actually get approval. When reality simply is the approval is not, we don't need anybody's approval, you see. But we've been brainwashed, we've been programmed to believe these things, you see. And if we don't have parents who tell us something different, then that legacy, what was there, or it could be helped in the future, is lost, you see. And so it amazes me why. So it's common law is a contract. It's a contract between you and your lover. That's what it's about. And why would you want to? You're inviting you're actually inviting someone to be in your house, you and your wife, and you choose to invite the government to be a part of it. So you give up your authority, you relinquish it. You give your power away to someone, some unknown entity, because you've been taught that they're the authority when they're not. You see, that's something to do with maybe what Jesus is talking about. Basically, their scales fell from their eyes. They suddenly realized how much they've been blinded by all that's been around them. Their eyes were open. They were able to see the truth that they've been completely brainwashed, manipulated by those who they thought were the authorities are not the authorities. Why do we repay? I mean, not pay. Why do we pay respect for people who actually um, are politicians or lawyers or judges? Why do they use the word honor? Your honor. There's no honor in what they do. There's no justice in the court system because it's not a legitimate form of justice. It's all commercial. It's all about money. It's all about legalese, you see. So, and they will say you see, if you watch some of these guys, they do these live programs from the legislative offices where they assemble at in the state capitals, and they say, my respected such and such partner from the other aisle or whatever. This is all baloney crap, folks. You see, you should be able to see by now, folks, that both political parties are basically they're all in the same box. They're all in the same wing. They're not, they're basically the same bird with two wings. You see, they're out to get you. They're out to rob you. That's what they're out to do. You see, they're not there for your behalf. They're there for their own behalf. So back to this whole thing with uh, you volunteer to put yourself in subjection to their laws. That's what you do. Most people are unaware of this. They've been brainwashed. And it's time to wake up, folks. It's time to open up our eyes and see what's going on here. And you got to educate yourself. You got to learn. You got to pick up the ball and take responsibility for your life. Because there are no saviors here, folks. You have to be your savior yourself. You have to save yourself. That's what you have to do. So I don't want to talk a whole lot about this. I just wanted to share this with you tonight. Just came on my mind, a couple things, thoughts, trying to put this together. But it's just like, for example, I'll say one more thing. I was compelled at the age of 17 years old to register to be a part of the armed forces because it was the law. Really? It was the law? What law? Well, the key is simply if you read it and understand these things, simply is it says it will not allow you to be able to go into a government building. Well, good. I don't want to go in a government building. Why would I want to be in a government building? Because there is no justice in the government buildings, you see. Why would I want to be in why do I want to participate in a system that robs me of life, liberty, and the pursuit of having happiness? Why would I want to do that? But as an 18-year-old, a 17-year-old, such and such, I was compelled to do this because, well, it must be the law. I guess I have to do this. And so I signed my signature down on something and gave up my authority to someone else. So I made mistakes, and the only way you learn is by making mistakes. So that's what I did in the past, such and such. So how did I recognize? How did I do this and now? How do I make the amends to that? Well, one thing simply is I don't vote. I have gone down to the county, and I did this 2 or 3 years ago, maybe longer. And I said I want my name to be taken off of the voter registration. I no longer want to register to vote. And the word register is another way of actually volunteering. Oh, you have to register yourself. You have to do this. Why do I have to register for anything? Why do I have to say if I have kids? Why do I have to register my kids to go to school? Ask that question, folks. It's very key. It's foundational. Why do you register your kids to go to school? Oh, it's the law. How do you know it's the law? If you never registered, they would never know you have kids. And it's not their bloody reason to know anything about who you are. So this is some advice simply. If you have kids and you're registered in school, go to another area, move, go to another state, and don't register your kids in the school system. They don't know. You don't have to tell them everything. It's none of their business. There's just key words here. Register, license is another word that they use to simply is to keep you in bondage. Well, he's licensed. He's a licensed plumber, or he's a licensed doctor. But how do you know he's a licensed plumber? How do you know he's gone through school? Well, everybody goes to school to be a plumber. They go to tech schools here in America. So the doctor, well, he had to pass a test, didn't he? Well, yeah, but he also went to school for at least 6 years over what he did in 4 years. So it's basically 8 to 10 years is usually what it is, depending on what type of doctor you're going to be. But license means simply is that he puts himself under the authority of the government. So now he's answerable to the state government or the federal government, and that's when he becomes that's when he becomes more of a slave. That's when but he's been told always he has to have a license to do such a things. And there actually is no law that you have to have to have license to drive. Neither there are no laws for that. You see. We've been misled immensely. So again, like I said, I just want to share with you guys this video. So hopefully, um, you'll glean some wisdom what I'm sharing with you. You volunteer to do this to yourself. No one puts a gun to your head here, folks. You volunteer to do these things. You put yourself, you're a citizen. A citizen means simply a subject. And a subject is a slave. As simple as that. It's your choice. Have a good night. Thank you for listening. Again, welcome questions. Take care.